What's good, YouTube? Hey, this is the last video of the night. I believe we're gonna do 10 minutes today and then 10 minutes tomorrow. But we got 15 of the smartest smugglers in all history. Hey, it's by the finest. Hey, I'm gonna link everything about the finest in the description down below. Without further ado, let's get into this video.
Smuggling is the process of moving illegal goods out of one country and into another. Given that those goods are unlawful, smugglers have to get pretty inventive with how they transport them, and they do. From cigarettes in tree trunks to goods strapped to people, here are 15 of the smartest smugglers in all history.
Shout out to the finest with this video.
Number 15. Cigarettes inside tree trunks. A+ for effort. Russian smugglers were trying to think of a way to smuggle cigarettes manufactured in Belarus to Poland,
That's WIQ though.
which would then be moved to Germany and then the UK. They decided one of the best methods would be to hollow out tree trunks and stuff packets inside. What they probably didn't anticipate was that the real trees would be a lot heavier than those stuffed with cigarettes. Customs officers at the Yagodin checkpoint at the Ukrainian-Polish border decided to carry out a random check and discovered that one of the trunks had been hollowed out. On closer inspection, they noticed that heaps of them had been hollowed out. They said it was almost impossible to tell the difference, but the weight was a dead giveaway that something wasn't quite right. Inside 27 tons of timber, 55 tree trunks were tampered with and contained 25,000 packets of cigarettes. The find was made on the Ukrainian side of the border, and guards used chainsaws to cut into the logs. The cigarettes were tightly packed inside. You gotta hand it to the smugglers, they really put on their thinking caps for this job.
They were locked in.
Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face when you're sleeping.
Everybody will like the video. It's up over there. Before that shouldn't be coming and crawl on your bed. What's up to my channel too.
Now it's time for the star topic. When you're doing something illegal, you know you can't do it in plain sight. We all know that drug smugglers can be quite inventive, but some are just on an entirely new level. A smuggling ring managed to...
Facts. I've had my friend, like I went to college out here, and my friend, like I was on the lacrosse team, and this one dude, we used to get from him all the time, bro. Before he moved, bro. I'm not saying his real name. Well, his name is Luis. Luis. So tell me why this nigga Luis, bro. Bro, we went into his room. Bro, he didn't have none, but he showed a stash jar. He had like a Dr. Pepper stash, a Dr. Pepper can, like a stash jar. And he had like peanut butter like a stash jar. It's crazy. But you can get it off of Amazon. I think I've seen it at the smoke shop. Man, you can get it off everywhere. It was the first time me seeing it. I was like, what the hell, bro?
import 1,000 kilograms or 2,220 pounds of drugs into the United States by stuffing them into car tires, batteries, and bumpers. Fortunately,
You can stuff drugs into car batteries.
they were caught. How do you think U.S. Border Patrol found the drugs? Comment down below with the hashtag StarTop.
Probably the dogs. Like they always find drugs, the dogs.
And let us know your opinion in relation to what we just showed on screen. With that said, let's keep things moving. Number 14. Gold inside soap. While we wouldn't call these people the smartest smugglers in history, they actually did a pretty good job of hiding gold they shouldn't have had, or should have at least declared. But you just can't beat airport officials who are always on the lookout for people trying to smuggle things into or out of a country. At a Mangalore International Airport, customs officials seized gold granules worth around $325 that a passenger had concealed inside a bottle of chocolate syrup and 4 soap bars.
Wow.
He had arrived at the airport early in the morning on an Air India Express flight from Dubai. After the discovery, he was arrested. The same thing happened to another man, but on a much larger scale. Customs officers discovered more than $50,000 worth of gold inside soap at the Tiru.
$50,000 worth of soap is crazy. Yeah, you're going up for a long time, sir.
Tirupati
Not a long time, but probably like 2-3 years.
International Airport in Tamil Nadu. The smugglers had gone to great effort to hollow out the soap carefully, then formed gold pouches wrapped in black plastic to fill in the gaps. They were then put back in their packaging so that no one would be any the wiser. But they were wise, and that man would have also been arrested for his smuggling efforts. Number 13. Cash smuggling. Have you ever watched Border Wars on National Geographic? This
show Border Wars is crazy. This show is pretty crazy. If you ain't watching, it's on the Geographic show or AT&T. It's AT&T, the A network.
Is proof that anyone can be a smuggler, even a family. In one episode, they showed a family who looked every bit as innocent as you would expect a family to look, but they weren't innocent at all. Instead, they were smuggling a massive amount of cartel cash. A husband, wife, and 3 children pull up to the border crossing in a white SUV. They say they've been in the United States for around an hour and were shopping for school supplies.
Wow. You went to the States for an hour to come back to shop for school supplies. And they found cash from the cartel.
¿Cruzaron por acá? Armas, municiones.
Their story seems to check out until the border workers noticed scratching on the trunk and tampering around the windshield wipers. Because the car is new and the scratches look out of place, they decide to investigate further. Upon opening the hood, they notice a panel at the back that appears to be a wall. By bending it open, they discovered 26 packages containing at least $400,000.
Damn.
The border workers said they would then tow the car away.
I can't take it anymore, Mr. Nibbles. It's always, yo, Death Knight, buff my armor. Hey, Death Knight, get yourself sacrificed. Who am I kidding, right?
Tow the car away into the seizure lot for further checks and spend the next 5 or 6 hours counting the money. Number 12. Drone smugglers caught on camera. It goes without saying that prison isn't gonna be a fun time. You don't have the freedom to do anything you please. So some criminals get creative with how they attempt to smuggle contraband into the prison's 4 walls. Corrections officers expect this though, so they are always on guard. In 2017, the Ministry of Justice released footage showing a gang using a drone to deliver contraband items to the tune of between 600,000 and 1 million pounds into the prison. Craig Hickenbottom, the ringleader, organized everything from behind bars. As a result of his actions, he was given an extra 7 years and 2 months in prison. The footage shows 2 people climbing a fence with a yellow bag and a drone. They then proceed to strap the cargo with fishing line to the drone. They flew it from a nearby field over a hedge and into the prison grounds. They were caught on camera several times, taking in items like weapons, drugs, phones, and even a Freeview box so the prisoners could catch up on their favorite shows. Cameras inside the prison showed a ringleader with an improvised hook. With it, he caught the line attached to the drone to bring in the goodies. According to the officer that caught them, the ringleader had organized at least 50 flights. Number 11. Snakes taped to smuggler's body. It's not just cash, drugs, and gold that get smuggled from one place to another. It can also be animals. A 22-year-old
Nah, snakes. That's gonna be the that's gonna be the The title: Snakes! Explanation points.
Norwegian man had been pulled aside for a spot check, and customs officers noticed a tarantula casually cruising around one of his bags. That was a red flag for the customs officers, who pulled the man aside to carry out a more thorough check. They may have expected a few more spiders, but they discovered a whole lot more than that. Instead, the man had 14 non-venomous.
Nah, makes my bones chill, bro. You had 15 non-venomous snakes on your body, bro. It's duct tape, bro.
Royal pythons rolled up in socks and taped around his torso. But that wasn't all. Each of his legs had small tins strapped to them, each containing a single albino leopard gecko.
You had snakes and lizards. That's gonna be the title. Snakes and lizard taped to him. Snakes and lizard taped to him.
Before being able to leave the town of Kristiansand after arriving from Denmark by ferry, the man was arrested.
You literally tape snakes and lizards to you.
Unfortunately, animal smuggling is all too common, particularly in Norway. There are many prohibited species of animals, so people attempt to bring them in from other countries in some unique ways. We can't imagine this guy got off too lightly. Number 10. Man in wife's suitcase. Jail sentences can be tough on families. While you're outside living your life, your loved one is locked up with very few things to keep them entertained or happy. But if there's one thing you shouldn't do, it's try and smuggle them out. After all, they do the crime, they do the time. Maria Del Mar Arjona was a pregnant 19-year-old woman whose husband was serving a 20-year jail sentence for various crimes at a Chetumal prison. On a conjugal visit, she took a large suitcase with her, which initially didn't raise any suspicions. After all, she was staying with him, so she needed clothes, right? But as she went to leave, guards noticed that she was struggling with her suitcase a bit. It seemed heavier and more awkward on its wheels. The guards also noted that Maria seemed a little nervous. If you were just carrying your clothing, that probably wouldn't be the case. Before she could leave the main doors, she was stopped. Inside her bag was her husband, who was just wearing his socks and underpants. He was promptly sent back to his cell, and we're gonna take a guess here and say those conjugal visits were no longer allowed.
At all.
Number 9.
Look at you, messed it up for everybody.
Man inside car seat. Border officers have to be at their very best
Yeah, border officers gotta be at 1000% at all times, bro.
at any time of the day or night. If they aren't, they may just miss some of the crazy ways that people try and smuggle goods and people over the border. In March, an 18-year-old U.S. citizen was stopped at the Calexico West port entry at around 1 a.m. in a black Mitsubishi. Something must have seemed off to officers because they sent the driver and her vehicle for further inspection. On the surface, nothing seemed amiss. She was crossing the border and was the sole occupant in the car. But once the border officers got the canine team involved, they quickly realized that wasn't the case at all. The dogs were particularly interested in the rear seat. Underneath the seat cushions in a compartment that they described as non-factory was a 48-year-old Mexican national. He was taken into custody at the Imperial County Jail, and the woman was awaiting criminal proceedings. According to the CBP Director of Field Operations for San Diego, Pete Flores, their national security mission was to protect the American homeland from threats. He said this was
the best way to make money on Amazon now in 2023 is not by selling physical products like everyone thinks. Now, I'm not saying that can't work, but
this was an example of inhumane tactics used to circumvent our law.
I'm gonna let the video finish this out, and then we're gonna stop it.
Number 8.
Hey, we're gonna stop it here at 10:07. I'm gonna make a marker at 10:07. Hey, I appreciate y'all for sticking with us with this video. If y'all stayed to the end, appreciate y'all. Hey, shout out to y'all what y'all been doing. We've been going up with you every day, and we're gonna continue to upload each and every day like I promised throughout December, even throughout New Year's. We're just gonna continue to get more consistent. Hey, it's been Mark. It's been real. Peace.